Donald Trump Jr. needs to learn that sometimes the best thing to say in a certain situation is nothing at all. During an episode of his Triggered podcast this week, Jr. decided to talk a little bit about how great Ron DeSantis has been since, the alleged attempt on Donald Trump's life that took place this past Sunday at Donald Trump's own golf course. So, in the podcast, Jr. praised DeSantis for keeping the suspect in custody in state prison rather than turning him over to the feds, right? Fairly simple, like, hey, no, we're going to keep him here. We're not going to give him to the feds. Not a big decision, not even really a worthwhile decision to talk about. But nevertheless, Jr. thinks that there is a bigger conspiracy afoot, and that is why DeSantis decided to keep the suspect in his custody instead of turning him over to the federal government, because Jr. said that if this suspect were in fact given over to the feds, he could, quote, disappear like Epstein. Referring, of course, to Jeffrey Epstein, who died while in custody several years ago. So, Jr., while talking about Epstein, and maybe this suspect disappears like Epstein, accidentally suggested that his father, who was president of the United States at the time that Jeffrey Epstein died in prison, and of course Donald Trump was in charge of the Department of Justice, which he put Bill Barr in charge of, by suggesting that the federal government does this to people. Jr. is actually suggesting that his father may have had Epstein killed, which of course is not what Jr. wanted to say, but that's what he implied with that statement. Here's what I mean. Jr. was trying to convince people listening to his stupid little podcast that, hey, if we turn the suspect over to the federal government does things to people. We can't trust the federal government because you know what happened to Epstein. Okay, well, if that's what you're trying to imply, everybody listening has to remember your dad was the federal government when Epstein died. I know Republicans love to pretend that Hillary Clinton, who, by the way, at the time of Epstein's death, had literally no power. She was a former government official living as a private citizen, but they love to claim that Hillary Clinton, had Epstein killed. That's their big conspiracy. Hillary Clinton did it. Hillary Clinton couldn't have possibly done it or had somebody do it because, again, she had no power. Your father, on the other hand, was running the government. His hand-picked stooge, Bill Barr, was running the DOJ. There are reports that Bill Barr actually did visit the prison where Epstein was a couple days before it happened, I guess we'll say. So you may want to back off the Epstein thing, not to mention the fact that Republicans love to just bring up Epstein, completely ignoring the fact that Donald Trump is the guy who partied with him, who was on video partying with him, who was in countless photographs with him. Not saying that Bill Clinton wasn't also in photographs with, Ghislaine Maxwell, but they're acting like, Trump, doesn't matter what Trump did. That's not real. No, it's real. He was in charge. If something happened to Epstein, and I'm not saying it did, but I'm saying if it did, the only person that would have had the authority to do that would have been Donald Trump himself, your dad, Jr. So again, sometimes in certain situations, the best thing you can say is absolutely nothing. And if your last name is Trump, making any comparisons to anyone else about Jeff Epstein, never a smart idea. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.